Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. These two words, teacher and preacher, if we translate them in Sanskrit language, it will mean, teacher means guru and preacher means teacher. So, keeping this basic translation, I will use the same words, teacher and preacher. When we go to learn music, for example, do we go to the music preacher or music teacher? We go to the music teacher. We don't go to the music preacher. Because preacher is the one who need not practice. See? Therefore, I come here as a preacher and I tell you, Trividham narakassedam dvaram nasharam काम क्रोधस्तथा लोभा तस्मादेतत्रयं त्यजेत. The meaning of this verse from Bhagavad Gita is, there are three gateways to hell. When I was talking to the students in a small school, just before I completed the statement, one child, yes, children can ask any time anything. Yes. Why there are three gateways to hell? I said, because there is lot of rush. Isn't it? People going to hell are more in number. So you have got more counters. Then how many are there for going to heaven? Only one. Because hardly there is anybody going. So these are the three gateways to go to hell. One is desire. Second is anger, third is greed. See? So as a preacher, I am talking to you. Trividham narakassedam dvaram nasharam kama krodhas tatha lobha, desire, anger and greed. Tasmat, therefore, etat trayam tyajet. Give up these three or else you will go to hell. I as a preacher. Now this girl came little late, 2 minutes. I as a preacher, what I will do? I will shout at her, I will become angry. If you are late, get out. Preacher. What a teacher will do? Teacher will practice that in his life. The word for teacher in Sanskrit is Acharya. Acharyavan Purusho Veda, Chandogya Upanishad says. Acharya means what? A person who practices in his life and demonstrates the knowledge. He is Guru. See the basic difference. And both are essential in our life. Guru is also essential and teacher is also essential. Or Guru is essential, teacher is essential and preacher is also essential. Because when we are growing, right from childhood onwards, everything has to be taught to us. So like the parents teach us, you should not speak ill of others. This is preaching. Because they talk all the time ill about each other. Yes, it's preaching. Then the parents tell us that, see, you should not tell the lies. And when some phone comes, the husband tells wife, if his phone comes, tell him that I am not at home. Preacher. So preaching is very easy. But when you have to practice that in life, it can be done only if we are convinced of it. See friends, Guru is the one, teacher is the one who is convinced of this knowledge. See? We all accept something in our life when we are convinced. And when we are convinced, there are no difficulties. A teacher will help us coming out of the difficulties by implanting value and importance of things in our life. See, a preacher will not. For example, spiritual life is important than anything else. A person who is established in this conviction, for him, practicing spiritual life is not difficult. And those who all the time talk about difficulties, see, like many people have got one trump card against me. In one of the places when my lecture was over, and the ultimate theme is be happy. So one lady, as if she became very, offended by my statement, be happy, and came, she as if wanted to catch my collar, therefore I don't have collar. And they said, all the time you tell, be happy, be happy, be happy. Get married and show, be happy. Means what? Marriage is a license to be miserable. So tathastu. May you continue to be miserable. See, friends. Therefore, a teacher is the one, or the guru is the one who will create value and importance for the spiritual life. Teacher deals with the worldly things. How to drive a car, how to take the gun and shoot the right way. But to whom to shoot and whom not to shoot, the guru tells, not the teacher. See, friends. So what is the importance and value we have? For example, all of us have value and importance for money. Has anybody ever said, money earning is difficult, therefore I am not going to earn money? No. We discover various techniques, above the table, below the table. See, the idea is value for money is perfect. We have no doubt about it. In the same manner, the teacher is the one, the guru is the one who brings to our cognition that really something most valuable in life is the spiritual evolution. See? So when it comes to spiritual evolution, it is only the teacher or the guru will tell us. See? Not the preacher. Preacher will frighten us, threaten us. Masses are controlled by threatening and by creating an element of guilt or fear. See, if you do this thing, you will go to hell. See? Once I was in US and my friend left me in one place. I had to go and apply for my visa to Canada. He says, Swamiji, it may take 4-6 hours. We don't know. So I'll drop you here. And then you wait here, I'll come back and pick you. I said, okay. So he dropped me, I went to the consulate and gave my passport and application. They said, go. I said, no, I will take visa and then go. He said, no, you cannot sit here. You come after 4 hours. Where will I go? That's your problem, it's not my problem. They are right. So I came out. I had nowhere to go. No money also in my pocket as usual. So I was doing window shopping. Window shopping is free. So when I was doing window shopping, this one person came, a big frog, and maybe pastor or a brother, somebody. He came and he asked me, are you a Hindu? So I looked at him. Any objection? No. Do you believe in Jesus? I said, no. I believe in Lord Jesus. Okay, Lord. Yes. Then you are a Christian? I said, yes. But then he said, you are a Hindu? I said, yes. How this is possible? I said, latest technology, 2 in 1. So when I said like this thing, he became angry and he condemned me. You will go to hell, preacher. Go to hell. So I asked him, excuse me, where will you go? He said, of course I will go to heaven. I said, if you are going to go to heaven, I'll prefer hell. Friends, frightening and threatening is not the creed of a guru or a teacher. See, a teacher is the one who is there to uplift and help. See, friends. Therefore, Upanishad says that Vijnanartham Gurumeva Vigachet Samitpani Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam. Therefore, if we want to know the truth, those who are earning money out of Brahma Vidya, they cannot be the teachers, they are preachers. See, one of my experience I will tell you. This happened in Bombay many years before. I was asked to speak on one very rare text and very difficult. And the text is written by Santa Gyaneshwar and that too in that old Marathi. Bombay Marathi, Sabji Wala Marathi, that much I know. But you know, that was a very difficult Marathi, about 700-800 years before. So, they say, Swamiji, this is one book we want to study and nobody teaches that. I said, okay. So I started. First day when I went for the lecture, one of my friend who organized this thing, he showed me a register. Swamiji, I have made a register. Names of the people, how many Sundays are this year, and whosoever is coming. And this is the fee we are charging, 25 rupees per head per lecture, and this is and signature. So we'll get complete data. I said, you are very well organized, very good. And this is my last lecture. He said, last lecture or first? I said, there is no slip of tongue. This is my last lecture. He said, why? I said, who told you to collect money? Brahma Vidya, I got it free. We simply say words, friends. Sadashiva Samarambham, Shankaracharya Madhyamam, Asmadacharya Paryantam, Vande Guru Paramparam. See, I did not pay a pai to get this knowledge. On what ground can I claim that? He said, then how it will be done? I said, it was your problem. You asked me. You spent from your pocket. If you say you don't have money, you tell me, I'll get money for you. But don't sell this knowledge. Okay, Swamiji. I said, don't cry. Say cheerfully, okay, Swamiji. Not like that. And we continued. There were 72 sessions. Then after all that was over, last day, a gala, lunch and all that. Then whatever people have put dakshina, when I was taking food, they put a dakshina. I said, now take the whole thing and take bath in this thing. He had so much of amount which he could never imagine in his life. He said, Swamiji, I said, don't get excited. It is for you to learn. See, this knowledge is not meant for earning bread, friends. The preacher is the one who earns bread out of spirituality. The teacher or the guru is the one who is not earning bread out of spirituality. The one who has given the stomach, there is a saying in Hindi, the one who has given the hunger, he gives food also. The one who has given khujli, he gives nails also. Imagine those who don't have nails, how they will do the khujli. See, he has provided everything, friends. This confidence in the divine ways are inculcated in the heart of the seekers of truth by the Guru. See, friends. And the second thing, worldly things are important up to a particular limit. The more the security we have in life, less is our surrender to the divine will. See, lesser the security we have, more is the surrender. See how simple it is. Once in a ship in a sea, so many people were going, and there was one child, and all elderly people. And who are the elderly people? Who have taken a vow before the Lord, we will never smile. They are all old, waiting in a queue to die. And this was a young child, he was such a big open space. He was dancing, playing, and how come no uncle, no dada, mama is coming and playing with me? What happened to them? I don't know. And after some time, it was a high tide. So the ship started, rowing this way, that way. Then all the elderly people who were sitting with seriousness, they also started falling and getting up and running. Then he thought, oh, finally they understood. Now they are also playing with me. So one Dadaji asked him, that, are you not afraid? He said, why? Don't you know there is a likelihood that the ship may sink? He said, really? He ran to his mom and sat in her lap, put the thumb in the mouth and said, now nothing can touch me. He has that confidence. When I am in the lap of my mom, even God cannot touch me. That surrender can come only when we approach a teacher and not a preacher. See, friends. And who is a guru? He, Bhagavad Gita says, Gatasuna gatasuncha nanu shochanti panditaha. Pandita, the wise man. Na anushochanti. They never become miserable. Why the otherwise people become miserable? See, if you ask me, there are 108 jokes in Bhagavad Gita. Those who can discover those 108 jokes in Bhagavad Gita, they have really discovered the heart of Bhagavad Gita. One joke I will tell you. The rest is your homework. See, Bhagavan says, Gatasuna gatasuscha nanu shochanti panditaha. Pandit, the wise people, do not cry gatasuna when somebody dies. And also, they do not cry when somebody doesn't die. See, who are the ignorant people? When somebody dies, they cry. And when somebody doesn't die, ye marta bhi nahi. They are miserable. See, wisdom is refusing to be miserable in life. See, friend, that is why. The other day, I think in the retreat, somewhere I was speaking, this example I gave. Just imagine. One husband came and spoke to me. So what a husband will talk? How he is miserable because of the wife. There is no other theme, no other topic. So he came and talked to me. Swamiji, I am so fed up of my wife. I don't know why did I get married to her. God could not find any other sample other than this one. And I don't know what sin I must have done in the last life. Oh Swamiji, please help me. Now I deal this case as a preacher and as a teacher. Okay. First as a guru, as a teacher. So I will tell him, look here my friend. Husband is not a proper noun, it is a common noun. And every husband in this world, right from Rama onwards, was always miserable. Was Rama happy because of Sita? When Rama could not be happy because of Sita, how could you be happy because of your wife? Therefore, take it lightly, every husband is born to be miserable. And there is nothing like happy husband. It is an illusion. There is husband. Happy husband is only illusion. Like the Spider-Man. It's nowhere. It's imagination. Is it Swamiji, every husband is miserable? Yes. You may be knowing only yourself. I know millions of husbands. I have never seen a smiling husband. Oh, this is the case. Yes, my beta, this is the case. Okay, Swamiji, thank you very much. Now I will not worry because of my wife. So I have brought him out of his miseries. Then I am a guru, I am a teacher. No, the second way, I deal the same case as a preacher. He comes and talks to me. Swamiji, I am so miserable because of my wife. So before he talks his complete misery, I shut his mouth. Nothing. I am also miserable. No wife. It is said it is better to suffer with a wife than to suffer without a wife. Then I am a preacher. See, friends, a teacher or a guru is the one who himself is never disturbed by anything in this world, nor he makes anyone else disturbed because of this world. Now what is the reason? The reason is the foundation. See, where is he standing? What is the foundation? In second chapter of Gita, Bhagavan talks about this basic theme. Guru is the one whose wisdom never gets corrupted. He is always with steady wisdom. A teacher is basically, or rather a preacher is basically a philosopher. See, there are three words. I took one retreat in Port Elizabeth this time. Religion, philosophy and spirituality. This was the retreat. Religion is that where there is no God. Philosophy is that where there is no wisdom. Where God and wisdom coexist is spirituality. The one who deals with spirituality is a teacher or a guru. And the one who deals only with philosophy, he is a preacher. See? And what is philosophy? Philosophy is delayed wisdom. Every married person tells the unmarried person, "Yaar, don't get married, there is nothing in marriage." This he has understood little late, like a tube light. Switch on, after 10 years he regrets, I should not have married him. See, delayed wisdom is spiritual, this wisdom, philosophy. Therefore, a guru or the teacher is established in wisdom. A preacher is a good philosopher. I don't know, one of the places here only I went, in this trip or last trip, there was a good number of people, and one of them asked me, Swamiji, have you studied the Western philosophy? I said, no. Why not? He said, why should I? See, we don't have to compare anything. A guru or the teacher takes you beyond comparative existence and brings you to the absolute reality. From the absolute standpoint, there is nothing wrong in this world. From the relative standpoint, there is nothing right in this world. The teacher or the guru brings us to the absolute, and the preacher keeps us in the relative world. See, what is the reason? The reason is the preacher has to survive. See, like last time I told you, every doctor prays to the Lord here. He told me. Every doctor comes and prays, Sarve Bhavantu Roginah. If sarve bhavantu sukhinah, if everybody will become happy, where will the doctor go? In the same manner, the preachers are those who want miserable people around them. If people are not miserable, who will ask them? See? Therefore, the Guru is the one whose wisdom is steady. And this is the question in the second chapter. Arjuna asked Bhagavan Sri Krishna, what is the meaning of steady wisdom? Who it can be? Because we assess, evaluate the world according to our understanding of ourselves. See, like one person asked me, Swamiji, there are so many ashrams, how they run? I said, people give donations. How much donations people can give? I said, they give whatever they want. Okay, tell me, for example, this ashram. How much expenditure it must be? I said, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 lakhs of rupees per day. So much of expenditure per day? I said, yes. Who will give money? I said, people like you. Hey, I don't believe. I said, okay. How much donation you have given in your life? I never gave a pie. A person who has never given 1 rupee donation can never imagine people can give $1 million. They cannot imagine. Exactly the same way. A person who is not steady in his wisdom, he cannot believe that. Is it ever possible that one could be steady under all conditions? And therefore Arjuna's question comes. Sthita prajnasya kamāsha samadhistasya keshava sthita dekim pravāsheta kimasita prajeta kim. See, Bhagavad Gita never condemns anybody because it is the teacher who is talking, not a preacher. See, who will be the preacher? Preacher will condemn us. If you don't go to the temple, you will go to hell. If on Ekadashi, if you take rice. The other day, while taking food, I had no rules and regulations. Whatever happens on the spot, it happens. So there was one Amma standing. And when I take food, people give me first food. They don't eat along with me. I am the universal guinea pig. And when I have eaten food and still I survive, then other take. So I was sitting and they gave me food and I was eating. And they all watched. You can imagine, you try this thing. When you are taking food, somebody is watching you. How difficult it is to eat, But now I am accustomed to that. So when I take food, let us say chapati, and I make a cocktail of all the things. Dal, sabji, achar, papad, everything. And then when I lift it, those onlookers, their mouth becomes ah. So when I saw one Amma's mouth was open, then I called, I said, Mama, come here. She came. And I said, Sri Krishna Arpanamastu, I gave her. She ate that. And after that I finished my food. It was nothing like love. I wanted to go through the risk. So first I gave her and then I gave her. Okay. After my food was over, she came. So Swamiji, something wrong has happened. I said, never mind, forget about it. Do you know what happened? I said, I don't want to know. Relax. Today is Ekadashi. I said, so what happened? You gave me food. I said, so what happened? They say Ekadashi, we should not take food. I said, what happens? One goes to hell. I said, then go. This is the problem. Tathastu. See, a preacher will control the crowds through fear and guilt. See, guilt. If you have done this thing, now you have to do 16 Somvar, Mondays. And then on 17th Somvar, Monday, you have to do a big puja. And then you should have one golden snake made out of gold about 1 kg. Then after you finish the whole puja, give that snake donation to me, not to anybody else. Then what will happen? Don't worry about it. First you will see later. Preacher. Living on the emotional weaknesses of the people. They are preachers. Bhagavad Gita says, Api chedasi papebhya sarvebhya papakrittamaha. If you are holding a doctorate on committing sins in your life, you are a fit candidate for evolution. No condemnation. See, friends, Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru, teacher, not Jagat preacher. See, and whatever Bhagavan has said in Bhagavad Gita, he lived through in his life. If you study the life of Bhagavan Krishna, each and every verse, what he has spoken, is his own life. He has not spoken theoretically. He has lived through. Therefore, Jagat Guru. See? So, a guru or the teacher is living that knowledge 24/7. See? It is not like, where I went somewhere, in US probably, there was a community. They will go whole day working somewhere, pant, shirt, jean and everything and smoking and all, whatever it is. And when they come to that community, immediately all those things are covered with a big gown. And then their names are Swami, Gadbadananda. And so when they are in the ashram, they are Swami. When they are outside, they are not Swami. Friends, spiritual life is not a performance on the stage. See? He who performs on the stage, he is supported by the audience. A preacher is performing on the stage. For example, these music people. They perform on the stage, taking the harmonium and started, Mere to Giridhara Gopa. Finally, people get tired and they clap. Because it is a performance. When Mirabai was singing before the Lord, it was not a performance. See, friends, a preacher performs his duty. A teacher lives the knowledge 24/7 in his life. See, friends, spiritual life is not a part-time profession, friends. Spiritual life is a full-time preoccupation. See? And therefore, it is extremely necessary that we should always be the seeker of truth. Never take a position that I can teach anyone else in this world. No. Whenever we take a position of teaching others, we have become a preacher. And when we want to teach others, what is the worst thing that happens? We close all the doors of wisdom to us. I know who can teach me. Or else we keep on evaluating. This Mahatma is like that, he is 70%, he is 75%, his beard is long, he may be 80%. See, longer the beard, more the wisdom. Shorter the beard, lesser the wisdom. No beard, only beard. Therefore, a teacher is the one who is living this knowledge 24/7 in life. And we really, according to Darwin, we are the descendants of apes. Monkeys can imitate very easily. See? You must have seen in your houses the two kids, brother and sister. They are playing at home, but there is nothing else to do. So the brother becomes the husband and sister becomes the wife. In their game or in their play, there is no script writer. There is no choreography. Because every day they see what is happening in the house. Then only they have to repeat it. See? So the husband comes from the office and tack. Only in the space there is nothing. Tack. Then the door opens with a noise. Because that is how their house must be. Only practicing what we have seen. So the husband enters in the office and then the wife scolds, "How many times I told you don't smoke?" Now who taught them these dialogues? Yad yada charati sreshtaha, Bhagavad Gita, 3rd chapter, 21st verse. Yad yada charati sreshtaha tatta devi tarojanaha sayat pramanam kurute lokaha tadanuvartate. Yad yad sreshtaha acharati. Whatever is the lifestyle of the great people, that is followed by the next generation. Therefore, it is easier to be a preacher, very difficult to remain as a seeker, although remaining as a guru. See, Bhagavan Ramakrishna Paramahamsa always used to say, a seeker of truth should never take a position of a guru in his life. Let others call him as guru. But he should not accept it, that I am a guru and others are disciples. The moment we accept it, we put blinkers and we cannot see all around. See. Therefore, here the guru is the one who is steady in his wisdom. So the real value on the spiritual life is only steady wisdom, nothing else. Are we steady? Our wisdom is for others. See? And one example I will give you. When somewhere in Delhi, it happened many years before. So one of my very old friends, those days I was pretty young, handsome, etc. Now I have become old. So this must be about 40, 45 years before. So I used to call them Papa and Mama because they used to give me good food and all that. So that Amma died. So when she died, I got a message. I said, I can't come now, I am far away and busy with my lectures and all that. I'll come later. So after 15 days or so, I went there. After I went there, I had nice samosa, tea and everything. And about all the topics on the earth I spoke. How the government is bad, how government is corrupt, how these rains are not, and how there is a big hole in the ozone layer. These topics do not create sins. See? So I was talking on these sinless topics here and there. Thereafter, my friend, I used to call him Papa, my friend, when I was going, he hugged me and he said, "You are a real Swami." I said, "What do you mean by real Swami?" I thought he is giving me something, big blow. I said, "What do you mean by big Swami?" See, you came, but you have never mentioned a word about my wife and her death. And did not make me cry. Most of the people, when they came, they will be talking again and again, and remind me that I am miserable. And when I start crying, then they feel, our duty is fulfilled, we have made him miserable, and now we go. But you are surprisingly, you did not mention one word about her departure and all that. How can you do that? I said, "It's okay." No, I want answer from you. I said, you will kill me if I tell you. He said, no. I said, Papa, how do I know whether you are happy or miserable after her death? He said, Swami, you are terrible. I said, look here, this is how the world is. थोड़े गम है, थोड़ी खुशियाँ, ये जीवन है. We have to live our life. We have to die our death. We have to practice our spiritual life ourselves. Nobody can practice it for us. Friends, Guru is the one who teaches us that take every event of your life as spiritual examination. What is an examination? Do we go and complain that it is difficult, I will not write? No. See, in one school, the teacher was teaching. 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. 11 plus 11 is 22. 111 plus 100 222. Understood? Yes. Homework given. Next day, they have to come and tell. Homework was 8 plus 9. 77 plus 66, and third one was 398 by 938. Some examples. Then everybody said yes. There was one student like me, terrible one, said, what about you? I have not done. Why you have not done? Sir, simple you have done. Difficult you gave us. When it is an examination, we can have no right to say it is difficult. Friends, on the spiritual path, the Guru guides us and tells us, my dear friend, take every event of your life as a litmus test, as a spiritual examination. And in this, there is no option. That is how the wisdom doesn't get corrupted. A Guru is the one who helps the seeker come out of it. Come on, it is enough. See? One example I will tell you. It happened somewhere. There is one family, a Gujarati family, very close to me. Very rich family. Everything is perfect. Except the father and the son. They cannot live without each other for a moment, and they cannot live with each other without fighting. Terrible. So, the daughter-in-law one day she told me, Swamiji, I am in this house only because of you. Because you have been guiding me, and now I have come out of the commotion. So, can you tell me how do I get out of this mess? I said, Mama, I will tell you, but under one condition. No discussion, no argument. Agreed? Yes. I said, come with me. I took her to a place where there was a medical camp, free medical camp. Then I told her, now I will put you there. Whatever work they tell you, do it. I know you are a daughter-in-law of a multimillionaire. You might not have lifted a glass of water. Whatever work you are told you, do that. No discussion, no argument. Okay, sorry. And tell me after 6 months, every alternate Sunday they had a camp. And after 6 months, when again I visited that place, she said, Swamiji, I tell you, I have no problems of any kind in my life. I said, something wrong with you or what? He said, Swamiji, I was in a cocoon. I have never seen anything outside the world. When I am going to that medical camp, then I came to know this world has got so many miseries as compared to their miseries. I am ashamed to say that I am miserable. Nobody would have brought me out of the commotion where I was. Now let anything happen on the earth, I promise you, I will never become miserable. See, friends, condemnation and suffering is not the creed of a teacher or a guru. See, friends. And this is possible only because when he is rooted in that wisdom. See. You know, there is one Hindi song, तू कौन है, तेरा नाम है क्या, सीता भी यहाँ बदनाम हुई। कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे, लोगों का काम है कहना, छोड़ो बेकार की बातें, अपने मस्ती में रहना। See friends, Guru is the one who is living in steady wisdom. He is not doing meditation. He is living in meditation. Be very attentive. A guru or the teacher lives in meditation. He does not do meditation. See, what is the difference between living in meditation and not living in meditation? Be very attentive. A waker lives only in the waking experience. He has no entry in the dream and the deep sleep and the samadhi. The dreamer lives only in the dream experience. He has no entrance in the waking, deep sleep and samadhi, etc. But a person, a Mahatma, living in meditation, he is in meditation while he is awake, he is in meditation while he is in dream, he is in meditation while he is sleeping, he is in meditation while he is practicing samadhi. Meditation is unbroken, uncorrupted, continuous, uncreated experience. The teacher or the guru lives in this. And what is that experience? In the words of Bhagavan Sri Krishna, Yada sarvan manogatan kaman prajahati. When a master is living at a zero desire level, Yada sarvan manogatan kaman prajahati. Jahati gives up. Prajahati gives up for good. See, there was one person came with his friend. Swamiji, my friend has some problem, can you help him? I said, if he needs money, I am sorry, I don't give money to anybody because I got my own principles. I receive money, don't give. So he said, no. Oh, okay, what is your problem? Swamiji, my problem is I can't stop smoking. I smoke so much, I am fed up how to stop smoking. Before I could say, his friend told, Swamiji is a very weakling, he cannot do simple things. I have stopped smoking 10 times. He doesn't know what he was talking. See, our wisdom comes and goes. See, friends. So, yada sarvan manogatan kaman prajahati, given up for good. See, and we can get freedom from desire. Desire-free existence is remaining in wisdom. See, friends, living at zero desire level. If you look within, we are all miserable only because of this virus of desire. And this desire has no end. See? And the Guru is in tune with the divine. Therefore, no desires. Now let us understand what is the foundation on which the Guru is staying. So his foundation is, let us analyze the genesis of desire or the karma, action. Anything which is recognized as other than the self, about that we have desire. See? For example, I don't have a watch and this girl has a watch and I look at my wrist and her wrist. Then I start thinking, if I get a watch, it's good. See? I don't have a desire for my mala. It is already hanging in me. No desire. The first principle of desire is a sense of otherness creates desire, number one. Second thing, a sense of incompleteness, that I am incomplete without this object. Otherwise, why healthy, wise young boy think of getting married? See? It's only the sense of incompleteness. What a life without a wife. Sense of incompleteness. Get married. Afterwards, what a life because of the wife. So this sense of incompleteness is the cause of desire. Second cause. See? Third cause. The mind projects, superimposes value, importance, a source of happiness in that object. All these factors put together are collectively called as desire. Now analyze this. When we are in deep sleep, snoring away, creating noise pollution, so that time there is no sense of otherness. There is no sense of incompleteness. There is no projection on any object about any kind. And therefore, there is no desire. And because there is no desire, there is nobody. When there is nobody, there are no thoughts. And there are no thoughts, there is no misery. And therefore, all bliss. And that is why people want to go to sleep, even in the satsang. I always remember this particular example which happened actually. Always I don't bluff, sometimes I tell the truth also. There were two persons sitting on two chairs next to each other, and one was a descendant of Kumbhakarna and other was a descendant of Dunlop. So this Kumbhakarna was sitting when my lecture started. In no time he switched off and went on the Dunlop pillow. And the Dunlop pillow was getting so disgusted, and what I see from here, you can't see from there. So, I was enjoying. The pillow was thinking that this fellow is troubling me. So the pillow moved like this. But you know, the Kumbhakarna's descendant was committed. He put his hand around the pillow, pulled, and I was enjoying my lecture under seminar. After lecture was over, this Kumbhakarna was awakened from sleep. And straight away he says, Swamiji, you are awesome. I was thankful he didn't say awful. I said, thank you very much. Very few people understand. Swamiji, and went away. Now this Dunlop pillow, he was boiling. He said, Swamiji, when you saw him, why didn't you wake him up? I said, look here, be cool. What for you have come for satsang? Tell me. For becoming miserable? No, Swamiji, I came for becoming happy. Did you? He already became happy and went away. Therefore, all those who sleep in satsanga, they are the real satsangi. Don't look at each other. Yada sarvan manogatan kaman prajahati. With this understanding, when you live, you will see that the real cause of our misery is this. It should be like that, it should be like that. I like this, I don't like this. Don't worry. See, everything is fine. Start with this hypothesis. When you sit for taking food, before taking food you should say, oh, the food is very good. It will be good. Even if it is not, how does it matter? Because if somebody asks me, I normally do this thing. Before taking food, I tell the food is good. Otherwise, I have to speak lies. So before eating, I say that it is not a lie. Therefore, no expectation of any kind from anybody on any issue. He is a guru. He is a teacher. See? And therefore you will see, a teacher is never frustrated, a guru is never frustrated, never depressed, never dejected. See? One day, a Guru Maharaj got up from the sleep and disciples came. And he was crying. Guru Maharaj, you are crying. Yes, I had a very bad dream last night. But sir, you are our Guru. And you told dreams are illusions. Why do you cry? No, you don't know. I had a very, very bad dream. I had dreamt that I am a butterfly. Even the disciples said, never mind, but it was just a dream. Forget about it. You only taught us. It is an illusion. See, you don't allow me to talk. Let me complete my statement. Yes, the disciple said. See, I dreamt that I am a butterfly. Then, now my question is whether your Guru is dreaming that he is a butterfly or the butterfly is dreaming that he is your Guru. See, friends, do we have any expectations from anything, from our dream? Cannot. Take this waking dream as a dream. Go through the experiences, but never become an experiencer. See? Once I got down from some flight and waiting for my luggage on the belt. So one person, youngster, this happened in Bangalore, IT professional. He also got. He said, Swamiji, how come you are here? I said, by default. Then, I am your fan, by the way. I said, keep moving. Why are you stationary? Switch off forward. Then he said, you have been talking on Gita here and there for so many years, but people don't change. Don't you feel bad about it? So I said, Pagal kutte ne kata hai. Did any rabid dog bite me? Why? I said, do you know what is the prayer of a Guru? Let everybody remain ignorant. Because we survive on your ignorance. If you all become wise, where will I go? So my prayer is to the Lord, oh Lord, let the ignorance be maintained at higher and higher level. More the ignorant people, better is our market. See, friends, in this world, nobody has made anybody wise. Guru knows this. See? Therefore, no expectation. If I imagine after my lecture is over, then you will say, Swamiji, you spoke very well. Means what? I have postponed my happiness in the future period of time. And it is in your mind. If you don't say, I am miserable. Therefore, a Guru or a teacher is one who lives at zero expectation level. See, Gatasu na gatasu cha nanu shochanti panditaha, never miserable on any account. Because no desire load at all of any kind. See, that doesn't mean if he has no desire, he is totally disgusted. Ab jaun to jaun kaha. See, freedom from desire is very similar to depression. Dispassion and depression, they look alike. See? There was one young boy in his maybe 20s or so. Somewhere he came, he said, Swamiji, I want to ask you some question. I said, before you ask me a question, I want to ask you a question. What is that? Are you married? He said, no, my face is like that. Married person. So, when we have dispassion and depression, depression is a disease. Dispassion is freedom. Depression is born out of boredom. Now there is nothing to do, what will I do? And then I go to next house. हाँ, भागू भाई क्या कर रहे हो? Nothing, I was getting bored, therefore I came to you. Why you were getting bored? Who came there? There was nobody, I was alone, therefore I was getting bored. Imagine when you get bored of yourself, how solid bored you must be. How can one get bored of oneself? See? It is something like one patient went to the doctor and said, Doctor Sahab, yes, I snore so loudly in sleep that because of my snoring, my sleep breaks. What should I do? So doctor said, go and sleep in another room. How can we get bored of ourselves? See? When we get bored of ourselves, it is depression. See, friends. When you are all by yourself and yet fresh, cheerful, that is dispassion. A guru lives in dispassion. A preacher lives in depression. आजकल कोई आता ही नहीं, मार्केट कम हो गया. These days, people are not spiritual, They don't come to the temple. And even if they come, they just keep only 10 paisa. Not good, I think I have to move to some other market. Then he is a preacher. See, friends. Therefore, first, prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan. No more load of desire. That doesn't mean he is depressed. Then, atmanne vatmana dushtaha. He is at peace with himself. See, this is one of the most essential quality, that we must be at peace with ourselves. If we are at peace with ourselves, then we are at peace with the whole world. If we are not at peace with ourselves, we will be bouncing on the world. See? And all those people who are damaging the world, they are not at peace with themselves. And those who are at peace with themselves, they can never be destructive. Therefore, Guru is a source which will bring out the best in us, whatever we may be, without condemning us. See? And the preacher is the one who will encash on our emotional weaknesses. He will try to see that how much benefit I can get from this emotional wreck. Therefore, Guru or the teacher is the one who really helps us come out of the commotion that we have created in our life. And preacher is the one who helps us in creating commotion in our life. The rest of the thought we'll see tomorrow. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha.